right into it, guys. Welcome back to Me versus Myself podcast. It is your boy Hisuki, and I realized how loud this chair is in the last episode, so I'm gonna try my hardest to not make it make so much noise. But today is February 10th, 2022. I'm feeling really good, guys. I'm feeling kind of hot. Not gonna lie, my room's feeling kind of hot. So let's get this out of the way right now. And let's just chat, Let's say hi to each other. And you guys can see. It doesn't matter. You guys don't mind. But hi. Welcome back to Me versus Myself podcast. For those of you who might be new here and might have never stumbled across this or might be listening to this and have no clue who I am, I've been doing this podcast for myself for the past 2 years now. And this is this is really just a space where I'm able to be vulnerable and able to just share and have my opinion be uncontested for however long I decide to record, right? And by doing that, I hope to not only share my ideas, but I'm providing you with my mindset, I'm providing you with my goals, I'm providing you basically the blueprint in, achieving the success that I'm out to go ahead and claim for myself. And by documenting the ups and downs, the realness, the vulnerable side of me, it allows me to be more free in myself, in my personal life, in my relationships, and just overall, like, this is my one of my meditation practices that I am really, really happy and with, and that I really enjoy. Usually, I guess I have a title. I just kind of came up with it right now, but I want to give my opinion on what self-sufficiency means to me. So for those of you who may not know or may know, I chose to make this year the year of self-sufficiency because last year was the year of learning, right? And the last year I read the most amount of books that I have ever. I actually tried learning a lot about myself. I did learn about myself. I broke a bone. I broke my collarbone. Healed up from that. I've been learning jiu-jitsu for a year and a half now, almost 2 years in August. So I've been doing a lot in terms of learning about myself, learning about my past. I've learned about some of my traumas and healed from those things. So I'm really, really excited that it's like I can provide this knowledge because of the struggles that I've been through. And I think it's really cool that I have a place to share these things, and I have a place and people who care about me enough to listen to this podcast. So shout out to the homies. Shout out to all of you who, continuously support my show. Like, you guys do a lot for me. You do a lot for you just do a lot for me. And I feel like in my day-to-day, it's easy to get caught up with my own little life that I don't really take into consideration all of my friends. And I think that's one of the things I really want to work on more. And through doing this podcast more often and having people come here and have a conversation with me, I know I can, continuously show people that I really admire and care about, like, that I care about them, instead of just knowing that we're friends because we're friends in the past. And I just need to do a better job of reaching out more, but also I guess it comes with the sacrifices that I'm making right now to just keep my energy to myself. But I'm breaking out of that idea of like, oh, I need to be isolated so much, because I feel like I'm a very social creature, and I tend to put myself in this bubble of comfort that doesn't serve me all that much. I want to talk about kind of what I've been going through in terms of my mental space. I've been feeling really well, really good, really free. I'm not gonna lie. A couple of days ago, I was I've been having trouble sleeping a little bit. Yesterday, I was okay. I'll explain why in a bit. But so for the past 9 days, today's the 10th. So the 9 days before this, I told myself that I would not consume THC. just because self-sufficiency in the sense for me means I should not depend on anything and I should just run solely based on my own energy, my own time, my own money. That's the big idea of self-sufficiency. But non-dependency kind of plays into that because, well, if I'm kind of dependent on a substance, I feel like I'm not self-sufficient, right? Because I need something exterior to baseline me out. And well, yeah, for the past 9 days, I didn't really experience much withdrawals because mentally I feel like I prepared for just to give it up. Um, and I feel like I've been doing a good job about that because there were times where I kind of almost caved in and almost just chose that easy escape, and I stuck through. But yesterday was my boy Jason's birthday, so happy birthday, Jason! Happy late birthday when that we're seeing this, and um, I knew leading up to that like get together that I was gonna have to cross that bridge of whether or not I wanted to smoke or not, and I wasn't really judging myself or wasn't really beating myself up for the like I just kind of came to terms with okay, like it might happen today, and if it does, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And for a while I wasn't, but the thing about what I guess in my logic kind of there's a fault in there because it's like okay, when I give up THC, I consume more alcohol than I would like to, and I don't. You know the trade-off between weed versus alcohol for me, I'd rather drink. I'd rather just smoke because you wake up the next day and I feel good. And I guess I do a good job about. Not a good job, but I do a good job about hydrating and taking care of my body. So I never really feel hungover like that, or I never feel the effects of alcohol negatively because I do a really good job about like keeping my water intake high before, after, and during. So I usually just wake up like kind of normal, or maybe a little raspiness in my voice or my throat. But also that's because of Six Flags yesterday. I went to Six Flags yesterday, and I fucking love just yelling this fucking loud as I can on just cause like that's where you just can. And there's like two rides where I was just yelling like so loud, Gold Rusher and Apocalypse, where I was just yelling super fucking loud and just to release anything. And it was just fun, man. But yeah, so when I so okay, I knew that I was gonna go hang out with my boys, and I knew that my boys were most likely gonna have some sort of weed or THC, something pen or something. I was kind of expecting that, but then I told myself, well, maybe I'll just drink. But then I said, well, I mean, I was doing good. I was doing good with just the drinking. But then I was just like, you know what, dude? Like, instead of seeing this as a regressive, like, as a step backward or like a step in the, back, it's not so much like something I need to beat myself up over. It's like, yes, it happened. It is what it is. And instead of like losing my momentum because of that, it's just like, okay, that was your little reward that you've got for the past 9 days. Keep working. Keep doing the things you're doing because by working on my business every day and messaging these people every day and trying to, I'm getting closer every day. But the moment I stop doing these things and, for example, fall back into habits of like smoking every day and not doing these things, because I felt that little pull today because, yesterday I smoked, but in this morning I kind of was laying in bed and I was like, I don't have, like, I'm okay. But then I was like, no, like I took a shower. I reminded myself why I'm doing what I'm doing. I write down, okay, I'm doing this because of this. And just continuing to believe the vision, right? Continuing to believe the vision of what Spiffy Media will be. And I know I've touched on Spiffy Media vaguely, and of Spiffy, there's something in your brain that knows me is connected with Spiffy. But really what I'm trying to do right now with Spiffy Media is help business owners, for example, gym owners, jiu-jitsu gym owners, increase the amount of leads that they get in the span of 90 days. So I'm helping people bring in leads through digital marketing and sort of paid traffic, but also helping people train jujitsu. Like, not necessarily in a physical, in a literal sense where it's like I'm coaching them or teaching them, but I'm setting up systems that help gym owners bring in those kind of people, right? So if say you wanted to join jujitsu and didn't really know where to go, but you got an ad for that, and then you click on jujitsu. You join a jujitsu gym, or you reach out to a jujitsu gym through something that I'm doing for that gym. Like, it's cool that I can help the sport in that way. I can help and change lives that way too. Like, I mean, in a like a not a literal like straight up way. It's like a back end way where I'm helping the overall like economy or growth of the sport of jiu-jitsu and martial arts. Because yeah, man, I've gained a tremendous amount of benefit from these things. Training jiu-jitsu, training kickboxing, I have the confidence to know that I am a warrior. I'm a warrior in a garden. I'm a samurai in a garden instead of a gardener at war. And I'm pretty much ready for any sort of any sort of adversity that might come my way in terms of something physical, or maybe something dangerous, or even the mental stuff that I've had to go through. For example, breaking my fucking collarbone, having my collarbone be popping out for like a week before I got surgery, dealing with all those things, and understanding that this is all part of the journey. Because by having this sort of like Everest that I'm climbing at the moment, where it's like the black belt is, essentially, it's not really the end, but it is a culmination of like, okay, like, the base, A to B to C, A B C D, back to A, back to B, back to C, back to A, back to B, D, A, B, C. So by keeping that, like I may be here in my journey. So how I don't even know how to visualize this, for example, but I'll draw it for you. Black belt and me. There's a huge gap between me and my black belt. But in the span of all these things, right, there's a lot of little achievements that I'm gonna go through and learn, and lessons and adversity and skills and friendships and a bunch of stuff that I get to experience before I get to this end goal. And that's the same thing with my business right now. Like, physically and like at the moment, I may be here, and this might be like a financial freedom, right? If this was here, let's see, me and financial freedom. It's the same thing. It's the same kind of journey, right? Where it's like I'm here, and I want to be here one day. But to get here, I need to go through all of these little. Oh, it's not writing. I need to learn all these little lessons. Need to learn all these things, or need to continuously show up so that I progressively get to that destination. What's going on, Luna? Now your ass has to stay in here for the podcast. Oh man. Look at my Luna. She's so beautiful. She is the best. She's so beautiful. I love her so much. But yeah. So yeah, I've learned I've gotten a tremendous amount of value from training jiu-jitsu in terms of my personal life, my friendships, connections that I've made. Yeah, dude. That's just a small, like, 3 little categories, but the big picture of the journey is like the rewarding part. I really feel like that's the most fulfilling thing that I could be doing right now. So my business, in a sense, I'm helping jiu-jitsu owners, but I'm also creating connections with people that are doing what I'm doing. So in that sense, as I get closer to this financial freedom, and I can have the location freedom, I have the financial means to do whatever I want, go wherever I want, train wherever I want, buy whatever I want. I'll have connections of where I can go and train also, So not only will my game benefit from me, but in the future, in maybe 10 years, all these lessons that I've been able to stack on myself and learn from, I can now teach somebody else when I open my own school, when I, open to be an instructor for a gym, all these things that are are down the line are, that are, it's in the, we're in a void, we're in the void of like things that may happen, right? And it might not be making so much sense, and I may not be portraying this in the best sort of way, but all this room in between this journey and this journey is room for me to play. And as long as I follow certain requisites, I will get to this. And I will exactly the same thing with my business. If I follow the requisites of what it takes and the right actions to take for my business, I will get there. And it doesn't mean like this is the end goal, because just because I get here, this opens up a whole other new game now. And the black belt also opens up a whole other new game. So this might not be... fuck, let me see. Let me try to draw this diagram better so that I can continue to build on this little lesson I'm trying to teach. All right. So this is the same thing, but a little bit nicer. So these little, in the middle of this, there are certain things I need to do or keep doing to get to here. But also that doesn't, like, once I get to here, that doesn't mean that this is over now. Now there's another journey here. And then here. Sorry, it's hard to draw and being like. So now there's more. And in this thing there will also be little lessons to get going. And I think that's the value of having a glimpse of the future, a sort of maybe not result, but a sort of like checkpoint, right? You can say these are checkpoints. Having these checkpoints in mind has really been motivating me and helping me to know and stay in these trenches, to be like, okay, if I do this shit for 10 years, 5 years, I am bound to succeed at least once. At least once. That's like the bare minimum. If I continue to do this for the next 5 to 10 years, I will come across with success at least once. That's just like the minimum. Once is like the bare minimum, but also getting one and building on that momentum and building on those momentum is like where you see the growth. And that's where I really like this sort of little diagram of like how success works, because it is a long time of just being here, and doing these little same thing that will eventually pick up. And when it does pick up, you'll start seeing the upward trajectory. And this may not be the best graph to show you. This is kind of just like a rough little sketch, but this little arrow, I might be maybe here on my jiu-jitsu journey, in my financial business adventure right now. I might be right here. And that's only in like a month that I maybe got to this point. So if I did this over the course of a year, 2 years, 3 years, I'm bound to at one point obtain success. And through all these little lessons that come from right here, I can just keep stacking up even more. And it's crazy how that works, because when you don't have anything going for yourself, for example, when I was first trying to start my business, maybe we'll just go back to just 9 days ago. 9 days ago, I hadn't sent any messages to anybody. I didn't know what to write in these messages when I'm reaching out to gym owners. But as I started, you start to see, okay, people reply to this message, people don't reply to this message. I don't like how these people are replying to this message. Maybe I should switch this up, tweak this thing. Okay, like, oh, this person stopped replying to me. Okay, but now I'm starting to build something, right? And from having zero, and the loop that I kind of caught myself that I was in for the past 2 years was just like trying to perfect everything, trying to make sure that I had the right mindset, I had the right like structure I had to write this, and all of that doesn't really matter. It does matter, but definitely getting started and building on that rather than like not knowing where exactly to go because you're looking for the right thing to do. It's like night or day difference. Like at the end of the day, the consistency will outweigh everything else. Like just it's just bound to at one point go up. So that's kind of some motivation that I hope to leave you guys with, and I hope that's something that makes sense. Because yeah, dude, I know that through doing all these hard things, I will get to my end goal, and not necessarily my end goal, but I'll get to a certain amount of freedom that I'm looking for. And from creating that freedom, I open up even more because now it's like, okay, I'm financially free, taking care of myself. I have all my financial means set up, so my parents don't have to worry about myself. Like they know that they did their thing, their bird left their nest, and I'm out here doing my thing, but I'm building the foundations at the moment. So, like, just having faith in this journey. I think that's one thing I hope to really leave you guys with is have faith in your journey and know where you're going. Because if you don't know where you're going, then you're not going to know if you're going the right way or not. But, you know, have like an end goal so that way you have an idea of how to go. And maybe you might get lost on the way there. You might take the wrong turn. You might take a left turn when you should have turned right. You should have, how Joe Rogan says, you should have zigged when you should have zagged. That might happen, but I mean, it's not like you're completely derailed. You're just going this way now, but you're supposed to go that way. So now, at one point, maybe you'll go back, and the end goal is I think is what's really helping me move forward and keeping me like on my toes and making me fall in love with the process of things. So yeah, I'm definitely falling in love with the process of like reaching out to people. Just too because I'm starting to see like what I'm doing is coming into fruition, right? Like, okay, I should say these things. I shouldn't say these things. I should send this message because this is the message that's helping me the most, And okay, maybe I should change the tone of voice, and I'm tweaking this little thing. And it was always this thing where like, okay, like I need to have the exact instructions to build my little system. But it's not until you start building your own little system that you start to see, okay, this is what works, this is what doesn't work. And I'm really happy to be operating this new venture that I'm on. Like, it's really cool. It's really cool that I'm doing this for myself, and I'm really happy to be able to share these things with you guys because the people that love me and the people that fuck with me and the people that are here, I do this for you, and I also do this for myself. But I really hope that I can leave you guys with some sort of value because, like I said, I know where I'm going. And I have so much confidence in myself to know that I'm making these things happen, and I've been trying to make this happen for the past 2.5 years, 3 years almost. In April, it will be 3 years. And man, like, it's crazy how one's journey might work, and maybe that's the same thing. Maybe for the past, back to this little arrow thing, maybe for the past 3 years I've been maybe here, and I've quit, and then I come back and I have to restart, and then I quit and I restart and I quit. But now it's like, and on the grander scale, it's still gonna end up being like this at one point. It will still be there if I continue to show up. And you need to continue to show up for yourself because only you can do those things, and only you can take care of the things you need to take care of. Man, I feel like that's kind of one of the things I really wanted to say because I want to share more about my business with you. I felt insecure and not sure about like trying to talk about that so much because it wasn't a thing yet. But that was just lack of confidence. But like I said, now I know where I'm going. I know what I'm building. So I have all the confidence in the world to know that I can just say these things out loud and this is who I am. And yeah, like I said last week, I'm fully just being myself now. and I noticed that maybe it fucks with certain people's expectations of who I've been, but I'm operating for myself because self sufficiency to me means being like self sufficiency like to me means handling it all, like just having it all under control, and not so much in the way I portray myself, but like actually having my shit like figured out and under control. Like that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing, and I'm really happy to continue building on this idea that I'm seeing for myself. So like, there's no reason to not continue doing these things. Uh, this is exactly what I feel I should be doing. So it's a disservice to myself to not do these things and continue operating under the old paradigms and the things that didn't help me get where I want to get. So yeah, man. Uh, I think I mentioned pretty much a good amount of the things I wanted to do. Oh, I told myself that I wouldn't smoke all of this month, and well, like, but for whatever reason, yesterday it did happen. Um, but I'm not so much beating myself up for it. It's I just it's a reward for the past couple of days, and you know, it's just okay. Yesterday was a really good day. I went to Six Flags and I had a outing with friends, and it's not like it happens all the time, and it won't happen all the time because I feel like I'm in control now of my use, and I know that it could be easy to just fall back and hit it again today, and then hit it again tomorrow, and then hit it again. But for what, you know? I feel free without the handcuffs on, without nothing, fucking no chains on my ankles. Like, I'm free. And the dreams I've been having, fuck, they've been some real vivid dreams where I should talk about those, huh? I should talk about my dreams. So there was one dream where maybe like 3 days ago, 4 days ago, I was in my elementary school, but it was like myself maybe in high school or maybe even me right now. So maybe like in a specific in my fourth grade classroom, right? But it was like my senior year English teacher. Shout out Miss Kim. Um, Senior year English teacher. And it was funny too. Like back in senior year, me and Miss Kim would clash a lot. I don't know if it was just two great minds, like colliding. Maybe that's just what I want to tell myself is what happened. And also, I was maybe stubborn and maybe just a fucking teenager. But yeah, shout out Miss Kim, dude. I don't know why she came up and I ended up having her be like the main the main character of my dream, but it so happened that we were like picking seats for school. I ended up picking a seat in the front, um, and I guess the class was going, and all of a sudden some like attacker came into the room with a gun, and this guy basically was kind of threatening us. I don't really want like so he was like threatening us like he was probably about to shoot or something, and all of a sudden I just hear, doof, I just see Miss Kim just like, doof, laid his ass out, bro, and then we had to fucking run out of the classroom like in case he wasn't like dead or something. So as soon as he was down, everybody fucking ran. And I remember being in my elementary like bungalow area, like crazy, crazy, crazy how vivid that fucking dream was. And I woke up like, what the fuck? Um, and I feel like just probably was like something to do with the withdrawals, where it was kind of getting well, not getting hard to sleep. And maybe I keep telling myself that it's hard to sleep, so I'm continually programming myself that may be also. But there was like 3 days in a row where I woke up in the middle of the night like 3 times, and my sleep wasn't the best. And I don't know. I had those dreams. I had a dream like that. I had a dream like, and maybe these are just fantasies, because I mean dreams. It's just all subjective. So I can tell you what it means. I can try to tell you what it means, but nobody really, nobody fucking knows, or nobody has an idea, a real idea. Um, I had this dream that, and it's funny because, so there's this girl that it's not so much that I like care about, but I remember I went to dinner. I went to breakfast the other day, and a person, I guess like a waitress, waitress or server or maybe like I don't know, whatever you call like the desk person. When you go order someone, you're like, hey, table for five. Um, like nothing like specific about this person, but this person was in my dream. Um, and it's funny because I like recognized that person was that person from the place that I want to go eat from. And like maybe it is like fantasies, but not really because it's like lustful. Like it was like it's not anything to do with like her or anything. Maybe it was just like the weird vividness of my dreams, and maybe because certain things were going on, uh, led me in my mind to wander just because of a situation that occurred over the weekend and the past couple like Saturday, Sunday, Monday-ish day. Um, so yeah, maybe like intertwined or something, like some synergistic way of like coming together that I happened to see this person in my dream and fucking had sex. So I don't know, bro. It's not anything against this person. Maybe I'm just pretending that it is this person, cause but I don't know, but I think it really is, and it's not like it's just a dream, It's just a dream, and I'm not thinking too much of it. It was just like a weird, like vivid, like whoa, like what the fuck, like, I don't usually ever really see other people in my dreams or that I can like remember, like or like strangers, So for a stranger to come in my room and in my dream, it was kind of weird. So yeah, I had a dream also that like some guy had a knife and for whatever reason I had to like close the distance and I was trying to like fight him off. And I want to say that maybe I like got his hand or something, but like I had to take the stabbing to be able to control him. And I remember that I remember thinking, I remember having the thought process during my dream of being like, oh, like fuck it, take the knife, like you'll most likely be okay if nothing gets like actually like if he doesn't hit me like in a vital organ or some shit, like I'll most likely be okay. And I remember taking like the stabbing, and I had to like control him, and I was able to control him after taking the stabbing. But like, I also woke up and I was just like, "What the fuck's going? Like what?" And I guess just because I wasn't well, supposedly I don't know. I don't remember exactly the science behind it so much, but I remember watching a Huberman Lab podcast. Uh, and he talked about like the science of like dream and sleeps and how like most vivid dreams occur when you're in a more wakeful state. It's not so much when you're in deep sleep that you have those vivid dreams. It's like when you're about to wake up or your body's like in the semi alert awake state. Yeah, so maybe the lack of sleep was causing me to have like more vivid dreams because I wasn't tapping into REM as much. Who fucking knows? Biohacking is its own fucking animal. But yeah, those are just some of the instances I wanted to share because I thought they were kind of weird or interesting. And yeah, man. Yeah, just working on non-dependency, working on self-sufficiency, and I really want to just keep hammering, bro. I'm about to just keep staying in here, staying in the lab, staying true to what I want. And not sacrificing and sacrificing and not limiting myself and continuing to believe in this vision, right? So with that being said, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I hope I maybe have given you a few little nuggets of motivation or inspiration. Hopefully those little diagrams made sense. It made sense to me because that's kind of how I journal or plan things out a little bit in diagrams or in like kind of visually. But yeah, man, trust your journey and believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and trust your journey. I'm not sure if this podcast's name will be Believe in Yourself, Trust Your Journey, or Self-Sufficiency, which maybe might be more fitting. Um, yeah. Thank you so much for watching Me versus Myself podcast. It is me, Jesus Guillen. Let me take a photo for the thumbnail. And have a great rest of your day.